Welcome back, everybody. DJ Numismatics, and we got some pennies to hunt. Not just some, 7,500 of these things. I've been really wanting to find a nice variety to show you guys. So I figured, why not? Let's try to get my hands on 3 boxes. I did pop the first one. And if you look right here, we have an ender. Not the enders that I like to see. That might be a Wheatie 2. But right there, we got a Canadian, 1984. This one's open. Let me pause it. We'll pop open the other two and see what we got. All right, I got the other two popped. This one here, I don't see any enders whatsoever. But over here, we have got an ender. Of course, it's Canadian as well. So let me move this other one out of here with the Canadians, and then we'll start in the one with no Canadian enders. All right, we got the one without any enders. So, just like with all my hunts, I will bring you in at the end to show you any microscopable, if that's even a word, varieties to search for. If I find a wide or close AM, I'll definitely bring you in right away. And with my little globe here, I can see most doubling on, say like the 69S or 55D or 55. I'm just putting that out there. Hopefully we find one. And if we don't, we'll check for some of the other ones at the end. Per box, I should say. So, that being said, let's jump into roll number 1. Well, I just got it laid out, and of course, we're not going to start with an ender box, but of course, our first find is going to be a Canadian. If we get too many Canadians, I think I'll bring you in at the end just to do a wrap up on them. Because being from the north here, I tend to find a lot of them. This one's a 1971. Roll 2 is going to produce our first Wheatie. Where did it go? Right there. Wheat scent number 1 is going to be a 1953 from Denver. Roll number 3, and we got wheat scent number 2, and that's a 1958 from Denver. Roll number 5. And we got wheat scent number 3. And that is our first from the 40s, 1946, Denver. Roll number 7. Got a forward facing wheat scent. This is going to be number 4. And that's a 1947 from Denver. Roll 9, and we're going to get wheat scent number 5. And that's going to be a 1941 from Denver. Roll 18. We got wheat scent number 6. And that is going to be a 1945 from Denver. Roll 32. And we just came across wheat scent number 7, and it's an old one. A little hard to see, but it is a 1918 from Denver. Or no, from Philly, sorry. Definitely seen some battleware. All right, let's see if we can find some more. Roll 43. Wheat scent number 8. It's going to be a 1937 from Denver with some damage. And like I said, I was going to bring you on the Canadians. We have got right now 6 Canadians. We are on the very last roll. And if you look right here, we got a 1942 from Philly. Wheat scent number 9. Right now, I do believe we're on 7 for Canadians. Well, that box is hunted. I only came up with a few S's in this one. S's are the only ones that I saved that are copper. I got a 68, a few 70s, and a 72. We ended up with 9 total wheats, with that 1918 being the oldest. 102-year-old penny, that's not bad. 7 from Canada, I think 65 was the oldest, so there was no young heads. But ask and you shall receive. 1972. It's not FS 101, but it is one of the FSs. Let me pause for a second, set up the tripod, and I'll show you on the laptop. All right. The date is pretty damaged. You can kind of see it in the 9 there, slightly in the 7 on the top there, and on a little bit on the 2 there, there's that little notch. But if you come over here to trust and the motto, see the side of the T, the back of the S, the side of the U. You can definitely see it in the R there, and in this T very well. We is pretty damaged, but you can see it on the side of the E and W there. And then God is unmistakable. You can see the spread and the serifs there along the back of the D and the O and the G. Come over here to the N, and you can for surely see it in the I and the N. This is FS 108, I do believe. Liberty, it's pretty damaged. The coin is in really bad shape, but I finally got one of the main varieties. This one here is probably the second strongest spread on the 72 varieties. That being said, let me get these out of the way, and we're going to move on to box number 2. Okay, we're ready to go. I got the box door open, flaps tore off. We already know we got a Canadian in here. Let's see if we can find some more varieties and a whole bunch more wheat cents. First box, wheats were out, or the wheats outbeat the Canadians, and we did get a good variety. So I did look up that FS 108 72. It only goes to grade 50 on PCGS. So I'm thinking in the condition it's in, it's maybe a $5 coin, but anytime you turn $5 or a penny into $5, that's not bad. Let's start cracking. Roll 4, and our first Wheatie, 1957, from Denver. And I've already got 1 Canadian on the board. Roll number 5, and we got wheat cent number 2. Right there. That is going to be a 1946. I can't tell if that's a D or an S. D. Wheat cent number 2. Roll 25. And it's been pretty quiet, but I just came across wheat cent number 3. Looks like it might be older. And it is. That is a 1925 from Philly. Roll 35. Wheat cent number 4 is going to be from 1957, Denver. This is 4 wheats, and so far I've come up with 3 Canadians. Roll 38, and we got another 1957 from Denver. Wheat cent number 5. 5 wheats, 4 Canadians so far. We're on roll 50, and we're going to get 1 more Wheatie. It's going to be a 1947 from Denver. That brings us to 6 and 6 Canadians. Well, that box is done. No varieties in that one. I did get a couple 68S's. Quite a few 69S's, no DDOs. 70S's, no DDOs, and a 74S that I'll put towards my collection. We did get 6 total wheats, with the 25 being the oldest, and 6 Canadians, all the Laureate portrait ones. So let me get these out of the way. We'll crack into box number 3. All right, we got box number 3 out here. As you remember, it does have a Canadian ender. Let's see if we can stay ahead of the Canadians. In 2 boxes now, we got 15 wheats and I forget how many Canadians, but wait a minute. Wait a minute. Well, there we go. I just flipped that one over. We got a wheat ender. So we're tied up right now in this box, and we're ahead in the hunt so far. Let's see what else we can find in this roll. All right, the wheat ender is going to be a I do believe that's a 1952. Wheat cent number 1. Same roll. Wheat cent number 2 is a 1954 from Denver. Not a bad first roll. We also got a 57D wheat cent number 3. Roll 6. Wheatie number 4, 1957 from Denver. Same roll, and we got wheat cent number 5, 1950 from Denver. Roll 11, and we're going to get wheat number 6. And that's a 1936 in pretty rough shape. Roll 12, and we got wheat cent number, where did it go? 7 already. And it's going to be a 1949. We're on roll 19, and we're going to get wheat cent number 8. That's going to be a 1947 from Denver. And while I got you here, we might as well grab this too. This will be the second Canadian of the box. That is a 1994. Same roll, we're going to get wheat cent number 9, 1941 Denver. And I think this is going to be another one, and it is 1947 Denver. Wheat cent number 10. Roll 21. Wheat cent number 11. By far, this has been the best box yet. This is going to be a 1948 from Denver. Roll 24. Back here towards the back, we're going to get wheat cent number 12. And that is going to be a 1941. Roll 25. Wheat cent number 13. We got a baker's dozen. Let's flip it and see what it is. 1946 from Philly. Roll 27. There's a Canadian in here. Let's just grab it while we're here. 1973. That'll be Canadian number 4 of the hunt. But right back here, we've got wheat cent number 14. 1949. Roll 28. Wheat cent number 15 is going to be an almost ender from 1945. Roll 29, and I've got a date here peeking out at me. It's going to be wheat cent number 15, 19, I don't know if it'll focus, 53, I do believe. Let's lay that down, see if we can get that thing to focus a little better. It's pretty beat up. 1953S. Wheat cent number 15. It's a toasty one. And then while I got you here, I'll bring you in on Canadian number 5. and that's going to be a 1984. Roll number 30 had that Canadian ender. That's going to be a 1985. But inside the roll, that's going to be Canadian number 6. We have, is it right there? Nope. Right there. Wheat cent number 16, I do believe. This might be 15. I'll have to check here in a second. It's a 1958. I'll definitely be checking that for the double die. Roll 34. We got a couple things in here. We got Canadian number 9. 1972. And wheat cent number 18 right here. It's going to be a 1957 Denver. Roll 36. And we have got wheat cent number 19. That's a 1953 from Denver. We're on roll 27. One coin from the end back here. It's going to be wheat cent number 20. And that's going to be a, oh, let's get it right here, 1953. Roll 39. And I know I said I wasn't going to bring in on any of the Canadians, but we finally, out of all 3 boxes, got our first young head. Let's flip it and see what we got. It's a 1958. Roll 49. I'm going to bring you in on this last Canadian here because it is another young head, 1964. This would be number 13 of the box for the Canadians. Well, that box has been hunted. We came up with quite a few from the S period, 68 through 74. Got a couple 68s, a couple 69s, a bunch of 70s, a 71, a 72, and a 74. The only one we're missing is a 73 in that series. Not too bad. None of them had varieties, but we did end up with 20 wheat cents. I think the oldest was a 36. And then we also came up with, 4, 8, 12, 14 Canadians. 2 of them were young heads. And then I did get an 83P with a variety on it. It's not a major variety and it's in pretty rough shape. Let me pause it, I'll throw it under the scope. If you look at Trust, it's the most predominant, at least on this coin anymore, because of the circulation. You can see the extra bar here, the extra doubling here. You can see it in the U, slightly in the S right there. And the last T is pretty damaged. But if we go back up here to the W, you can also see the doubling on the back of the W and in the W there. In God, right there, you could definitely see the doubling there. And slightly in the N. Coming down here to Liberty, it's hard to see, but you can see some of the doubling there. In R, the strongest is in R and in the T there. The rest are pretty hard to see. And of course the 83, there's some slight doubling there as well. If you look down there at the bottom of the 3, granted the 83 is pretty damaged, but you can see the second notch right there. This I do believe is FS 103. I don't know if I'll keep it yet or not, but it was fun to find another variety. 2 varieties in the hunt so far, or at the end here. So not a bad 3 boxes. We got out of the 3, 35 total wheat cents, 26 Canadians. Wheaties came out on top finally. A stack of S's and those 2 variety coins. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you're getting your hands on some boxes. I'm going to post a link right here from my eBay page. Check it out. I got some of this stuff makes it on there. So until next time, everybody, happy hunting, and thank you for watching.